What if I told you that you could have a garden that not only gives you amazing food, but also works with nature, not against it? A garden that actually gets healthier and more productive every single year, all while you do less and less work? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. The core ideas behind sustainable gardening. Just picture it for a second. A garden that's absolutely buzzing with life. It's more than just a place to grow vegetables. It's a little ecosystem all on its own. See, this isn't about fighting a constant battle with weeds and pests. It's about creating a balanced environment where everything, your plants, the soil, the bees, the birds, it all works together. It's a total shift in how we think about growing things. And this quote, this is everything. It gets right to the heart of the matter. This is the main idea for this entire explainer. Instead of trying to force feed our plants with chemical fertilizers, we're going to focus on one thing, creating unbelievably rich living soil. Because once you do that, the soil provides everything your plants need to thrive. It's that simple. Now, this whole approach, you'll sometimes hear it called regenerative gardening, and the goal is pretty straightforward. We just want to copy what nature already does so well. We're trying to build a system that doesn't just sustain itself, but actually makes the land better over time. You're creating a garden that gives back way more than it takes. So how do we actually do this? Well, it really boils down to 4 simple but incredibly powerful rules. First, disturb the soil as little as possible. That means way less tilling. Second, always, and I mean always, keep your soil covered, either with plants or a layer of mulch. Third, try to have living roots in the ground for as much of the year as you can. And fourth, mix it up. Promote biodiversity with lots of different kinds of plants. When you follow these rules, you're nurturing a whole universe of life right under your feet. It's truly transformative. All right, let's jump into our first key technique. And honestly, it's one of the easiest and most powerful things you can do in your garden, mulch. Just think of it like a protective blanket you're laying over your soil, shielding it from everything and providing some amazing benefits. And check this out, every single one of these benefits means less work for you and way healthier plants. Mulch blocks the sun, so you get fewer weeds. It holds onto moisture, so you water less. It works like insulation, protecting plant roots from crazy heat and cold. And if you use organic mulch, it slowly breaks down and feeds the soil. It's a win-win-win, no question. And if you needed one stat to really drive the point home, this is it. A good, thick layer of mulch can cut down on water evaporation by a staggering 70%, or even more. In a time when we all need to be smart about water, this one simple step can make a massive difference for your garden and for your water bill. Okay, so what kind of mulch should you be using? Well, you've basically got 2 main choices. Organic mulches, things like compost, leaves, or wood chips, are fantastic because they decompose and become food for that whole community of microorganisms in your soil. Then you've got inorganic mulches, like gravel or landscape fabric. They last a long time and are great for holding in moisture, but they don't add any of those tasty nutrients back into the ecosystem. And speaking of organic matter, that brings us right to our second powerhouse technique, composting. I really want you to stop thinking of this as just a way to get rid of waste. Nope. I want you to think of it as creating nature's ultimate superfood. You're literally turning kitchen scraps and yard trimmings into this rich, incredibly valuable stuff that will supercharge your entire garden. And this is what we're shooting for. This is the goal. Just look at that texture. It's dark, it's crumbly, it has this amazing earthy smell. Gardeners call this black gold for a reason. It is absolutely packed with the microbial life that your soil is craving. The key thing to get is that composting isn't magic, it's just biology. It's a totally natural process where a massive army of microorganisms, we're talking bacteria, fungi, worms, they all get to work breaking down organic stuff for you. All we're doing is creating the perfect environment for them to do their job as fast as possible. And that perfect environment, it just needs 4 key ingredients. Think of it like a recipe. You need your greens, which are full of nitrogen, like food scraps. You need your browns, which are full of carbon, like dry leaves or cardboard. Then you just need water to keep it all damp, and air, which you get by turning the pile every so often. That's it. Now, you can look up all these complex charts about carbon to nitrogen ratios, but let's just keep it simple. For anyone starting out, a great rule of thumb is to just aim for about half green stuff and half brown stuff. That's it. If your pile starts to smell a little funky, just add more browns. If it seems like nothing's happening, add more greens. It's really that easy to adjust.
And this table makes it super clear what should and shouldn't go in the pile. All your veggie scraps, coffee grounds, leaves, that's all amazing stuff. But you really want to avoid things like meat, dairy, or oily foods because they can attract pests and get pretty smelly. And definitely keep any sick or diseased plants out of there. You don't want to spread those problems back into your garden later.
So, how do you know when all your hard work has paid off and it's ready to use? Easy. Just trust your senses. First, the whole pile will have shrunk, probably by about a third. The finished stuff will be dark brown and crumbly, and it'll have this wonderful, rich, earthy smell, kind of like a forest floor after it rains. And most importantly, you won't be able to tell what any of the original ingredients were.
Okay, we've covered the big ideas, we've talked mulch, and we've talked compost. Now let's tie it all together with some quick, practical tips you can start using in your garden, literally today. Doesn't matter how big or small it is.
All right, first things first, get that 3 to 4 inch layer of organic mulch on your soil. If you're working with a small space, think up. Use trellises and grow vertically. And please, don't leave your garden soil naked over the winter. Plant a cover crop like clover or rye to protect it. Oh, and here's a great pro tip. When you harvest something like lettuce or broccoli, just clip the stem at the soil level and leave the roots in the ground. They'll break down and feed the soil right where it's needed most. So, I want to leave you with this one last thought. All of these things we talked about, building soil, saving water, recycling nutrients, they do so much more than just help you grow a great garden. They turn your little patch of land into a tiny engine for regeneration. So the real question isn't just what you can grow in your garden. It's what if your garden's biggest harvest is the good it's doing for the world?